And it was so crazy after all that bullshit that he had did to me the week before. We just automatically jumped right back into relationship mode after that night of crab legs and sex. And I even remembered it was like the same weekend of Father's Day. This was in June. So he came over. He even like gave my dad a card. He even came over. My brother was over with his girlfriend. We all had a fucking dinner. It was like nothing happened. It was very weird. At the time I was like, woohoo, I got my man back. But looking back, I'm like, what the fuck? I allowed someone to talk down to me in front of my parents and, basically just sex me back into a abusive relationship. Like I literally was that low. I literally felt that low about myself. So, but yeah, we continued on with our relationship type things. We were fine. Like I said, we would go from he would go from acting like he hated me to acting like I was almost the one. And I do remember in June, I ended up saying I love you again to him after we got back together. And he was like, oh, well, you're in luck. I'm almost in love with you. But I just can't say it yet. But just know that I'm getting there. It's growing stronger in my heart. But I just can't say it yet. He was still on that shit. That really hurt me. And so 4th of July comes. I remember I had drank a little bit too much. We were at his house chilling. I drank a little bit too much. And I just started bawling. I remember I started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, how dare you not love me? I've been with you for almost a year now. In August it'll be a year. Oh my God, we've been through so much shit. We've gotten back together and we've gotten back together. We've been good for this last month. Why are you doing this shit to me? All we do is have sex and you cook and we just hang out at your house or at your folks at your cousin's place. Like, what are we doing? Like, where are we going with this? And I was crying. Like, where is our relationship going? Like, I was crying my eyes out. And of course, he's like, oh, well, it's going places. Olivia, don't worry. We can move in. We can move in with each other. Shit, we can have a meeting one day and we can map out our budget and how much you're going to pay, like how much money you're going to pay for. And, I can see us living together. You take great care of my dogs. Stop crying. It's 4th of July. Have some more to drink. Like, he was super, like, he loved to just mask my feelings with alcohol or the fact that his dogs like me or the fact that, oh, well, my family likes you too. And we might can live with each other. Come on. Like, it was like he was reeling me in on a lie. So basically, he was like, oh, I can see myself living with you. You should move some more of your stuff in here. So I think after 4th of July, after the whole crying thing of me saying, why don't you love me, which I should never have to do, um, he was like, oh, move most of your stuff to my house. So I did. I did. My parents thought I was crazy, which looking back, they had every right to be like, what the fuck? But my parents at that point, they didn't like him, and I think he knew, and he was just like, oh my God, like, I mean, he just at the time didn't care. I feel like he never really cared. He just only cared about how I looked in his family. So and they were like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, well, because I want to live with him, we're gonna have a fairy tale, blah 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 blah, all that bullshit. I was so delusional. My God, I was so fucking delusional looking back. So of course, as you guys know, my birthday's in July. So a week later, my birthday comes. My birthday's July 12th, a week after 4th of July. And so the whole weekend we were in Florida at his mom's house once again. Um, but with his cousins. So all of his cousins came in from like California, Ohio, like far away places. They actually flew in. They took the shit super seriously, right? So me, I was trying to be my best favorite, you guys. He was okay. He was nitpicking in my wig. He started to pick on how I looked. It was really weird. He was like, oh, why would you choose that wig to wear down here to Florida to meet my cousins? I'm like, well, it's a damn drinking weekend anyway. It's a weekend for my birthday. I wasn't really thinking about the wig, but oh well. Like, I was just, oh well, like, what's the issue? Like, what's the big fucking issue? He's like, well, you could have picked a better wig. Like, he started to talk about my wig. He started to talk about, I didn't do my nails because I really didn't do my nails at the time because it was a crazy time frame. Like, literally, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get off of work that weekend before my birthday, to actually get on the trip. Like, it took me, like, I had to have two people cover my shifts. It was a lot of shit going down the few days before that trip, and I was freaked out because of course he dumped me just a month prior, and he was acting like kind of like he had started to get annoyed with me again. So I was like, oh my God, should I even go on this trip? Like, he basically asked me to go on this trip when we were both basically broken up. It kind of still didn't sit right with me, but I still went anyway because it was my birthday weekend. It was a weekend for my birthday, and I still wanted to meet the rest of his family. I was still like, okay, well, I need to meet the rest of his family. If we're going to start living together soon, if we're going to actually be serious, for real, then I'm going to have to, meet the rest of his family. This is an honor, I thought. Not. So anyway, he was picking at my wig. For one, he was saying, "Oh, you could have gotten a better wig. You could have bought better clothes to wear." Because at the time, I think I would just bought like booty shorts maybe, and like my bathing suit, and like maybe one or two dresses. Because we didn't even do anything. Like, we didn't even go out anywhere fancy. So what the fuck? Like, all we did basically was like go to the beach, go to a bar. No, we didn't even go to a bar. We just basically like got alcohol to drink at his mom's house. All they were doing was smoking and drinking at his mama's house and cooking, bitch, at his mama's house, bitch. We weren't even going out nowhere except for to the beach. So what else do you expect me to wear? But no, he was like, oh, but you could have looked better for my cousins. You could have done your nails. My female cousins did their nails. And my male cousins, their girlfriends did their nails. They had a better wig on than you. They're looking more presentable than you. And then, of course, that pissed me off. And then, I'm not a social butterfly. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not a social butterfly, right? So most of the times his cousins were talking to me more than I was talking to them, but I was trying to get a feel out of them, honey. I wasn't, I'm not on smoke, and most of his cousins were smoking, and I'm like, I was just over there drinking. And, of course his cousins talked to me and I talked back. I'm not like an asshole, but still, it was like, bruh, like, why are you telling me that I'm not talking enough to your cousins? He was like, well, I feel like you could have been on your A game better. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying to be myself. This is my birthday weekend too. Like, I have the right to celebrate how the fuck I want to. Like, it was a big thing for him. He thought I didn't look up to par. He thought I wasn't acting up to par. But his cousins seemed to like me. It was really weird. His cousins seemed to approve of what the fuck I was doing, but he didn't. And there was this one part where I do remember when we were all at the beach, like me, him and his cousins and their significant others, because it was a trip where his cousins brought their significant others as well. He spent more time with his cousins, smoking with his cousins, and barely with me. And it kind of hurt because I saw his cousins and their girlfriends all curl up together on the beach towel, looking at the sunset, and me and my ex were not doing that. Me and him took one picture together, but I feel like he only did that because he saw his cousins. Were like, what the fuck? So once the weekend's over and we finally get back to Georgia, it was my birthday week, right? And like any boyfriend, any half-ass boyfriend at least, he made a big deal about my birthday week. He even took a week off from work to, and I was off for week 2, my birthday week. We spent like almost every day together, of course. And I also packed more of my stuff into his house, right? Mind y'all, we never actually moved in together, so I'm not, we almost did, but it didn't happen because of what I'm about to tell you that happened on our anniversary, okay? So my birthday went all right. He took me to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. He was very nice. I mean, he didn't give me a gift. He claimed that, oh, I expected your mom to give you a gift. My gift was a steak and dick, but okay. Anyway, other than that, and plus the trip to Florida, he claimed was his gift to me because he didn't even give me a card, didn't give me flowers or anything. It was just, well, you should accept that I took you to Florida again and the steak dinner. And, I mean, it wasn't an expensive dinner, I'm not gonna lie. So he made a big deal about my birthday as far as the dinner stuff, and of course we had sex, and of course I spent a lot of time at his house because he was off a week and I was off a week. So we both were just, trying to fill each other out again. So, and then between July and August was very weird. I do remember shortly after my birthday, like, I think I cried again because in a way I was expecting him to say I love you on my birthday, or at least around my birthday or something, but it didn't happen. Like, I remember I said I love you to him, like around my birthday or probably on my birthday or something, and how much I appreciated him, and he didn't say it back. All he said was, oh, I really like you, Olivia, still. I think our relationship's still going well. I hope that we get to move in with each other soon. And that's all he said. Like, he didn't say I love you back, and that still killed me. So I think after my birthday, if I remember correctly, It was the end of July. It was like right before he agreed to go meet my grandmother. I like broke down again. I was crying. Like, I remember we were watching The Bachelorette. It was the season where the black girl was on, like the first black bachelorette, and she was picking, the man that, she was gonna go off with, and he was telling her how much he loved her. And I think I was drinking at the time, of course. We were watching that. I was drunk. I was crying. I was like, that shit is so sweet. I wish you were like that. And he's like, well, before you get a ring and baby and marriage out of me, you're going to have to finish college. And I'm like, really? You're going to put the stipulation of me finishing college and me getting a degree on love? Are you serious? He's like, well, not love. I'm just saying, if you want a ring, if you want to get married. I'm not marrying anybody. I'm not putting a ring on someone who ain't gotten a degree like I do. And I'm like, well, you went to this relationship knowing that I didn't have a degree. You went into this relationship knowing I didn't have a degree whatsoever, motherfucker. Like, and it was an argument. And I cried, I remember, and I think I went home early that night or something. It was really weird. And then it was like probably the few days before we met my grandmother. So he texted me this long message. I probably don't even have that message. I'll go check. So I found what he actually wrote me after we had that argument and before he was supposed to meet my grandmother. If I stumble up or cry or tear up, I'm sorry. It's just this shit still bothers me to this day that I put up with shit like this. And I tried to force something that was not gonna fucking happen. All because I was conditioned to feel like this. Yeah. So he says, morning, you're not being fair in all this. A deep conversation is about drilling and guilt tripping someone because their feelings aren't moving at the same pace as you. I'm tired of it. I've been manipulated into relationships without my interest at hand before. If every time we meet up, it somehow resorts to why don't you love me, which is becoming more common, then count me out. It seems all you feel about is wasting time. Feel like you're doing is wasting time. This pressure that's being applied isn't for me. I've given way too much to this world to let anyone tell me to move at a different pace other than my own choosing. If you don't like it, you know what to do. I got serious work to do today, so you should stay home and don't come over. Just reading those old messages from my ex, it makes me realize how badly I was really emotionally, he claims that I was manipulating him, but it made me realize how messed up that relationship was, I should have been stronger and I should have left them, but I didn't. I cried. I remember when this happened, this was like right after my birthday, you guys. It was like probably a week or two after my birthday. I cried my fucking eyes out. I remember when he wrote that. I think I called him. He didn't answer. So I sent this crazy long message talking about how much it doesn't matter if you don't love me. I'll wait. I won't mention ever again. I won't ever say I love you again, blah, 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 all that shit. Just so I could get him to realize that I wasn't crazy. In all actuality, I shouldn't have had to do that shit. I shouldn't have had to hide my feelings. I shouldn't have had to put up with such bullshit. But I did because at the time, I felt like he was the only man in the world. And yeah, so it's crazy because I even allowed him to still meet my grandmother. We both traveled to Alabama. I think this was like maybe a few days after that shit to meet my grandmother. And it was like nothing had ever happened. He hadn't like told me straight up that he didn't love me and I was trying to manipulate him. It was super fucking crazy. And it lets me know that I was so fucking lost in my head. Like I was so giving my power to him and he didn't even love me and I barely loved myself. So this part of this story is when it gets really sad for me, I might cry, to be honest. And I'm not one to try to act like I'm so bad, big and tough. I'm not going to fucking try right now that I'm so big, bad. And I've totally gotten over this because I haven't, to be honest, or I wouldn't be even making this fucking video. But let's just get right into it. So our anniversary was in August, right? August 2017, our 1 year anniversary. And in between that time I just mentioned, where between the end of July and August, it was a little weird. I remember it was very different. It was like he was examining me more. It was like he was trying to pick part at me. Like, I remember this one day. It was summertime. It was hot as hell. He was upstairs taking a shower, right? He was upstairs taking a shower, and I was on the phone downstairs, not downstairs, outside in his backyard with his dog, right? Just on the phone in his backyard with his dog, playing with his dog too. And then when I knew he was done with his shower, I went back upstairs, and I was still on the phone, but I got off kind of abruptly. Like, you know how you just be like, hey, I'll call you back, or hey, bye, whatever, such and such is out of the shower. That's basically what I said to my friend. It was my female friend, right? And this motherfucker had a nerve to be like, who the fuck were you on the phone with? I'm like, Brianna. And he's like, oh, well, why'd you get off the phone with her so abruptly? Sure, it was Brianna. Like, he started accusing me of cheating. And then, there's this one instance, this was like probably 2 weeks or a week before our anniversary, where my mom was trying to call me, and I had my phone still on silent from work, because I came over his house like right after work, I remember, and my phone was still on silent, because my phone goes silent all the time when I'm at work. Duh. And I came over his house, and my phone was still on silent, so my mom was trying to call me and shit, and I wasn't paying attention to my phone at the time, because at that time he had started to be like, oh, you paid too much attention to your phone, I don't know who the fuck you're talking to, I don't know what other niggas you talking to, texting, whatever. He thought I was really cheating. And so I had my phone on silent, and I wasn't paying attention to my phone because I didn't want him to think I was texting other niggas, right? So my parents actually come over because they were worried about me. Because they hadn't heard from me in like probably an hour or two. I wasn't responding to my mom's text or call because obviously I had it still on silent. I didn't realize it, and I wasn't paying attention to my phone because he was already making a big deal out of that. And they came over and they were like looking for me basically. And after they left and they realized I was fine and I was safe at his house, he was like, oh, well, why the fuck isn't your phone on ring anymore? Like, that's just hella sketchy. You're probably cheating on me. Only cheaters have their phone on silent, like crazy shit. Like, it was like, bruh, like, I was at work all day. I came over to see you. Like, I'm not cheating. Like, if I was cheating, I would have went to another nigga's house. Like, it was like he was starting to just pick at me over every little thing. Like, like if I were to get too drunk, he'd be like, oh, why are you getting too drunk? Like, before he liked me to drink. Then he'd be like, why are you getting this drunk? Oh, your ass has gotten so much big. Like, he just picked at every little thing. Oh, I see a little bit of armpit hair. Shave that shit. Like, he was super, like, picky. It was really weird. Like, it was almost like he was trying to find something to nitpick at to leave me before our anniversary. It was really weird. I also remember, he was like, well, if you're going to live with me, you need to not distract me while I'm at work. Because there was times where when I'd be off of work, I'd be over his house. And, there's this one time where his dogs were making noise downstairs and I was downstairs. And he made it seem like I was making his dogs make noise, which they're fucking dogs. He had a puppy at the time. So, of course, she likes to play around with the damn ball. Of course, she's not going to be fucking silent. Like, what the hell? Like, he had started to make it seem like I was a distraction in his life, so to speak. And this was like weeks before our anniversary. So our anniversary arrives. Girl, this is where it really gets abusive, because the way he spoke to me, I mean, many of y'all have heard the story before. Many of y'all have heard the story of how we broke up on our anniversary. But y'all didn't know, y'all just did not know the lead up to all this shit. So I'm about to get into it. So, if I remember correctly, our 1 year anniversary was like August the 13th or something, or the 14th. It was the weekend of the 12th through the 14th. So basically it was so weird. Like, after all that bullshit, a few days before our anniversary, he started to act nice again. Like, he was starting to be like, oh, I can't believe our anniversary is coming up. I can't believe we've been together for a year now. It's felt like longer, which I thought was endearing, but it really wasn't endearing how he really meant it. But yeah, he was like, well, it's felt like a longer time than a year. I can't believe it's been that long. I'm excited for our new chapter in our relationship or whatever. And so when our anniversary came up, like, I mean, of course we were making plans. Like, we were supposed to go to some type of Sunday brunch, and Saturday night we were gonna go to a bar, and then like Sunday morning we are going to go to some like fancy brunch place or whatever, and we were gonna go shopping afterwards and shit like that. So So Saturday night approaches, and I go over there, of course, and I'm all excited, like dead ass. Like I think I had his gift that I was gonna give him in my car. Still, I was gonna give him to him Sunday instead of Saturday night. Cause Saturday night, actually, I didn't even know what we were gonna do. He was just like, "Oh, we're gonna, drink or whatever," and I didn't know if he meant drinking like out or drinking inside or whatever. But anyway, I go over there. He's acting all nice. He even was about to make a cake for me. He bought a whole bunch of wine for me. Like I remember, right before our anniversary, he like bought a cabinet full of different type of wines that I like, and he bought like cake stuff to make a cake for me and all that shit. He was acting super nice. It was really weird. It was like he went from being accusing me of cheating, saying that I'm mysterious in a bad way, saying that I'm creating bad energy and I'm giving off bad energy, but he just can't put his hand on it, to being super romantic and super I'm so into you type shit. It was really weird. And he even, like, how I told you guys previously, he was picking at my wig. I even bought a new wig and everything, and I bought some new hair, and he was even complimenting me, saying that it's the best I've looked in months or some shit. It was really backhanded compliments. But nonetheless, he was still making me a cake, and he bought a whole bunch of wine for me. So I still felt all right about it. I was like, okay, at least he's trying. At least it shows that he does care that it's our anniversary, right? So this is where it gets really weird. So when we're on our way to because he kind of surprised me. It was funny. It was really weird. He was making the cake, and he's like, "Oh, instead of drinking wine here, why don't we just go out for a drink? There's a new bar up the street, blah blah blah." So I'm like, okay. So I put on something nicer. He's acting all like, "Oh, you look good." Like he was complimenting me. It was really weird. He was really complimenting me really hard. And when we're on our way to the place, he was talking about, "Oh, you haven't really seen me in party mode. This coming up, fall, I want us to really party. Like for Halloween, I want us to really go out and like party in this Halloween. Like I really want to, go to a real Halloween party. I want to drink, blah blah blah, all the shit he wants to do this fall with me." And I'm like, well, I'm trying to get wifed. Maybe I'm the 31-year-old in this relationship. I was joking, but he just took it like he looked at me like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" type shit. So basically, we get to the bar, and it was really weird. Like, I didn't have on lipstick at the time. I think it was either I didn't have on lipstick or my lips were chapped. But he started to say, "Hey, what the fuck's wrong with your lips? Your lips are chapped just like it was on our first date." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, when we first met, I almost ghosted you, but I didn't because, I thought we had good conversation and I liked your body, but like your lips are just as chapped as it is now. It's pretty funny how what a difference a year makes. Not much difference, huh? Because your lips are still fucking chapped." And then he started to say, "Oh, your glasses are dirty too still, just like when we first met, I had to clean your fucking glasses." And then, of course he saw that I was pissed off. And I was reaching my purse to get like some lip gloss or lipstick or chapstick or whatever. And I got some lip gloss, like pink lip gloss. He's like, "Why the fuck would you wear pink lip gloss over chapped lips? You need chapstick. How the fuck are you not carrying around chapstick? You're a woman." And then he started to say, "And it's crazy how you finally get a new wig when it's a special occasion. Why couldn't you wear a nice wig like that before? All these months before you were over here looking raggedy. I really feel like you let yourself go." Then he started to go on about how I only shave my armpits when he tells me to shave my armpits, and I only paint my nails when he tells me to paint my nails. And then he says, "Oh, well, and you think time equates love, and you think that I'm supposed to be all in love with you, and I'm not." And at this point, I'm like, I have this like really shocked look on my face, and I'm like, "So why don't you love me then? Like, if you don't equate love to time, like you told me to hold on and wait on you and to give you time, then what does love mean to you?" And he was all like, "Well," and he's like switches. At this point, this motherfucker switches from being rational person to talk to a complete asshole. Cause it was just night and day. It's like I fucking watched a switch go off in his fucking head, and like his eyes looked different. It was really weird. Like his eyes looked different. Like he turned red. Like bruh, it was like he was mad, like firing mad. That I asked him, "So if time doesn't equal love, and you told me to give you time, then what is love to you any damn way?" This is what I basically said, and he's like, "Well, love means that you're gonna inspire me. You're gonna do something. You're gonna inspire me. You never inspire me to do shit, Olivia. You don't make me a better man. You don't try to make me a better man. You don't inspire me to be a better man. That's why I don't fucking love you. You're just fucking there." You're just there, and you could at least be a bad bitch with it, but you're not anymore. And he just goes in on how I'm not the bad bitch he dated. He started to date. He's like, well, you're not the same person I started dating any fucking way. You totally changed. You totally let yourself go. You know, not only do you not fucking paint your nails no more, you don't shave your armpits and I know you hate me mentioning my ex-wife, but at least her fucking ass shaved her armpits. She was shitty at everything else, but at least her fucking ass shaved her armpits and knew how to be a woman. And it was just like, oh my fucking God. Like, you could see, and that bar was empty, thank God, because I was like, bruh, I was so angry. I was crying. And then he even told me, just like I told you guys a while back, you know how I was crying that one time he dumped me over wine, him buying me wine. He told me to stop playing victim. At this point, this motherfucker told me if I keep causing a scene, that I should call my mom to pick me up. If I keep causing a scene. Like, he didn't fucking start it, you guys. Mind you guys, I didn't start an argument with him. He's the one who started basically like his fucking switch went off in his head and tell me how he does not love me whatsoever. Mind you guys, I didn't think he was drunk. He had only had like maybe one drink at this point. So it wasn't like, I mean, of course he had like a glass of wine before we left. And then he had one drink at the bar, but that was that. It was not like he was plastered. So I still took super offense to it. I didn't cry my eyes out in front of him, but it was like, bro, I had to go to the bathroom. Like I went to the bathroom and I broke down. I was crying. I was calling my friends. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna say his name. Like, he's dumping me again on our anniversary. What the fuck? Like, I was crying. I was texting my friend. Like, frantic, like, oh my God, like, I'm getting dumped on my fucking 1 year anniversary. What type of shit is this? I was crying, and I think when I went back to the table, he'd already had the check, and he was like, is there any last word you want to say before you get all your shit out of my house? I'm like, what the fuck? And he basically was saying, like, he was like, I want my key back. I want all your shit out of my house. I don't want anything to remind me of you. Just like he did a few months back. If you guys remember him dumping me in over wine, like in June. He was basically saying the same things. And then he's like, well, you could at least be a woman. You know, if you're just going to be there like arm candy, at least you need to stay arm candy, not get raggedy. You let yourself go. Like, and you wonder why I don't compliment you enough anymore as much as I used to. You wonder why we don't have as much sex as we used to. And you wonder why you can't keep a nigga. Like, he went totally in on me, and it was like, bruh, I felt so attacked. And I remember when he was driving me home, he didn't say anything to me. It was weird. It was like he was driving normally, so that's why I didn't think he was drunk. He was driving me back to his places. I didn't let him take me back to my house because I still had a lot of my shit at this house, and I think I still had like my iPad on the charger, like everything was still set up at his house, so I had to get my shit out there. And I remember when he was driving me home, all he kept saying is, a damn shame. You could have been the one. You could have been my wife if you acted right. If you knew how to play the part. If you were smart about this. You were totally not smart about this, Olivia. You did not know how to navigate this relationship. And he was laughing. Like, he became the biggest fucking bully asshole I've ever seen. I've seen him be like a little bit of an asshole, but this is the first time I've ever seen him just go in on me. And I was like dying inside, you guys. I felt so embarrassed. I felt so ashamed of myself. I felt like all those months were flashing through my head at one time. It was that bad. So, of course, that time, I didn't even try to argue with him. I didn't even fucking try to rationalize with him anymore. I literally cried my eyes out until my mom came to pick me up. He put all my shit in trash bags, you guys. I went up there and I totally remember this shit. It was like almost like I was in a fucking horror movie, my own horror movie. It was like, even remembering this shit is really triggering me, and it's really making me depressed. It's really making me angry, and it's really making me sad for my own self that I allowed myself to get talked down to. I allowed myself to get to that point. Like I told you guys, there were so many different signs of emotional abuse that I didn't fucking grasp, and I didn't fucking take heed to and just leave him. And I wish I would have left him early. I really wish I would have fucking put on my actual big girl panties and left him earlier. But I can't blame myself all the time for this shit, you know? It's not my fucking fault that he hated me. I was myself the whole damn time, you know. Anyway, So it was like a movie. I literally ran upstairs and I got like, because I had a drawer, and obviously I had like my side of the bathroom in this bathroom. So I he gave me a trash bag and I put all my stuff in the trash bag. But while I'm doing this, he's like laughing. It was really weird. It was like he was and he was clapping, slow clapping, ha ha, you had your round, Olivia. Now it's time to get out. You fought the good fight, not really, but you tried, ha ha. And I remember him telling his dogs, "Don't fucking lick her. Don't fucking try to play with her. She's gone, you guys. Another one bites dust. I'm sorry y'all had to see this bullshit. I'm sorry I had to get y'all comfortable with this bullshit. I'm sorry I had to get you guys comfortable with this sick woman who's not really a woman." Like, he was telling his dogs, "Good riddance." Like, tell them good riddance to me. Stop, don't try to play with her anymore. It was horrible. Like, I was like my heart dropped. Like, I never felt so fucking humiliated in my life. Like, dead ass. And he was like laughing about it. And he was like, "Oh, you tried, but you failed. You know, good luck next time with someone else who can put up with your bullshit, your fake bullshit." And I was not even fake at all. Like, I was my fucking self. Of course, we all get comfortable in relationships, honey, but it does not mean someone's fake because you get comfortable in a fucking relationship and you go through depression. I was going through so much depression. Looking back now, the reason why I probably let myself go was because I was so fucking depressed. I was so worried about him falling in love with me. I was so worried about him fully accepting me for who the fuck I am. And I knew he would never do it. He even told me that night that you expect me to love you for who the fuck you are right now, but that's not gonna happen because you're not doing enough for me. You're not doing enough to inspire me. I can't love you how you are. I'm not one of those dudes. So, of course, I had my old YouTube channel at the time, the one where I had 4,000 subscribers. So after I get home and I'm crying my eyes out, my mom trying to comfort me, like, it was a horrible night. Like, I literally, like, even when my mom came to pick me up, me and him were still arguing. Like, we were outside cussing each other out, still arguing when my mom came to pick me up, and she tried to talk to both of us and he wouldn't listen to her. He's like, no. He like ran back to his house and locked the door. Like, he didn't want to hear my mom out. It was just a fucking mess. And I think even at that point, I didn't even give him my key back. I think I was so shocked that all I did was get my shit out of the house. My mom, she came to pick me up, and I still had his key though. At that point, so like y'all know, my old YouTube channel, Diesel Olivia Bish. I have 4,000 subscribers, so, and obviously he had been on my channel a few times, so I made a video about it. Shortly after, it's probably on this current channel now because I probably re-uploaded it, and I made a whole video about it, right? And shortly after that, like a few days later, I hear from him. And it wasn't because he wanted to apologize. It wasn't because actually he did try to apologize. I do remember there was this time where he did say, "It's not fair for me to strip you from everything that you knew. You can still see my dogs, even no matter how our relationship worked out. You can still see my dogs. We can still try to be friends." I do remember him saying that. But this was before, I think, his family saw my YouTube. So shortly after he said all that nice or semi-nice stuff, he didn't really apologize to me. All he said was I can still see his dogs. It's not fair for him to strip me of everything that I was used to with his dogs. And they still, they still look for me and all that stuff. Like he said before, the other times he broke up, that his dogs look for me. But he was saying that it's not fair for him to strip me of everything I was used to with his dogs, and that no matter how our relationship went, we could still be cordial and shit like that. And that was after I made the video. I made a video of our breakup and how we broke up at the bar, and I was like fucking crying. So after that, I agreed and I said, okay, when can I see the dogs? And it was almost like we were going to just be friends just so I could see his dogs again. So shortly after we start to try to be friends, or just so I could see his dogs, he hits me up talking about oh, my family saw all those videos. You're fucking, you're fucked up. How dare you put our shit out there? I don't want anything to do with you. Get out of my life. Like, exit my life. Like, you don't need to see my dogs. Like, he was going crazy. Like, not crazy, but like he was texting me. I probably deleted those text messages, to be honest, because it was just too much for me to even keep. Like, it was just a mess. He went from agreeing to be my friend again to basically saying that we can't be with each other. We can't even be friends. His family's on my YouTube and they hate me and they all think I'm fake. and I'm dragging his name through the mud because I'm hurt and that's so immature. And I think his family actually flagged my videos, because I remember shortly after he said all that shit, like I got demonetized. Like I wasn't able to make money off that channel because of those videos. Like it was that serious. And me being the, you know, the woman I was, the weak woman, the beat down, the emotionally broken woman I was at the time. I mean, I still kind of feel emotionally broken now, but I was so way worse. I was in such way worse conditions back then. I remember I actually made an apology video, you guys. I had no fucking reason to apologize to anybody. It's not my fault his family found my YouTube. For one, his family never found my YouTube when we were dating, you guys. We dated for a year we dated for a whole year prior, right? And his family never found my YouTube. Like Facebook, nothing. And it's mighty fucking strange that we break up over something really dramatic, right? And your family just happens to go look at my Facebook just to find my YouTube link. Like that's pretty like, yeah, something don't add up. I'm pretty sure he showed his family that I had a YouTube channel because they never knew before, right? So I even made an apology video talking about how I was so sorry that his family saw my channel and so sorry that I talked about him. And I shouldn't have had to do that. He did me so fucking wrong. I should not have had to do that, but I still felt like he controlled me. And I think maybe some of y'all remember that. I think I had a lot of people unsubscribed to me at that point. I had people telling me that I was being manipulated. I had people telling me that, girl, you're under his spell. Like he's totally brainwashed you. And I did not believe it at that point. Even at that point, I didn't realize I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. I just felt like, oh, my ex is an asshole. He was an asshole. But no, honey, I didn't realize how badly I was mentally and emotionally abused until the next chapter of this shit. Course. I mean, I actually still had his key around this time. I think around the time I did make those first videos about our breakup, I still had his house key. So basically, one day my mom called him out of the blue. I think it was because I was crying, like I wouldn't eat. I was like super depressed, like uber duper depressed. Like I was crying every day, like acting like weird as fuck. And she's like, "Well, come over and have dinner at us. Let's talk." Like they wanted to still talk to my ex. Like they wanted to talk to him. And he was like, "Well, I'll come over if Olivia gives me the key back, whatever." So he agreed to come over, and he finally tells my parents straight up. I don't even think my dad asked him. He was like, "So really, are y'all just arguing, or are y'all really done?" And this motherfucker said, "Yeah, the relationship book is closed between me and Olivia. She's not my forever person. I realize I'm not in love with her. I have love for her. She's awesome, but she's not my forever person. So we can't keep doing this. Isn't fair to her. It's not fair to me. I should have been more far along within a year that we've dated, but I'm not. And it is what it is." Basically, is what he said. And then he's mentioned, and then he mentioned, she could still see the dogs, maybe. And then he just demanded his key back. And, I gave him the key back or whatever. And I cried my eyes out. And I think I made another video. And then he was still like, "Oh, why stop making videos on me? Like, it's fucking done, blah, 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 blah." All this bullshit, right? I was like, well, fuck you. It was just a whole bunch of bullshit. Because I was depressed, you guys. Like, I was seriously like, I felt lost. I felt like a fish out of water. Like, I felt like I lost my whole life with that relationship, right? So as y'all know, I did make, I think I did make probably about 2 or 3 videos about our breakup at that point. And I don't know if I like hid my videos or something. I think I took a break from YouTube, and I think I took a break from YouTube around that time. This was in August 2017. And then somehow we started to get back in contact. From my memory, it's so many things that happened between then. I remember he went on a business trip. It was really weird. He went on a business trip and he hits me up like while he's out of town, talking about my dogs are at my mom's house. They've been acting weird since you've been gone. And I'm like, did you mean to send this to me or what? And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they're still acting crazy that you're gone. They're not used to not seeing you. They're happy to see my mom, of course, but it's not that they haven't acted the same since we broke up." And I'm like, "Well, you're the one who dumped me, so I don't understand, He started telling me about his dogs and how they miss me and all that shit. And then he starts to say, "Oh, well, Doesn't matter what happened between me and you. Obviously, we didn't work out, but you can at least still see my dogs when I get back in Georgia. I'm like, so when you gonna come back from your trip? He's like, it's gonna be about 2 weeks because at the time he was in Hurricane what was that? Hurricane Sandy, I think. What was that hurricane that was in August and September of last year, y'all? It was in Florida. I think it was Hurricane Sandy. I think that's what they called it. Anyway, he was there on a business trip because he does storm stuff. And he talked to me basically every day. It was super weird. It's like we'd already broken up. He'd already humiliated me. He'd already told my parents he didn't want nothing to do with me as far as a relationship. He already told them he didn't love me. He flat out saw me cry in front of him. And he was just like, bruh, I can't be in a relationship with you. Like, he didn't care. And I still entertained him. And that's what really bothers me. So throughout the 2 weeks, not only was he in Florida, he went to Texas as well. And when he got to Texas, shit got interesting, y'all. So during that time, like he had like he was venting to me. It was really weird. Like, he was venting to me about the hurricane. He was telling me, oh, all this hurricane damage. He sent me pictures of hurricane damage. He was talking about the hotel he was at, like almost like when we were together. He would tell me, oh, I'm staying at this hotel. Look at this shit. Like, ooh, I love this hotel. I want to go back here. I want to take you with me next time. Like, he was acting like we were still together. And I'm like, so what is this? What is this? Like, why are you telling me all this shit? Like, we're together still. And he's like, well, you kind of tricked me back into talking to you. I'm like, how? How did I trick you back into talking? Like, how did I trick you back into talking to me? You're the one who hit me up talking about your dogs. Then he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I don't have to keep hitting you up if you don't want to. And I said, do what you want. And he kept hitting me up. Like, this went on for the past 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks while he was out of town, in between August and September. So he started, instead of, just talking about his work and talking about his dogs, he's actually started to open up a little bit and talk about me in an endearing way again. He started to be like, I miss you. I've been missing you. And I'm like, really, really miss me? He's like, yes. I really do feel bad about how I treated you on our anniversary. You didn't deserve that. I was really drunk that night. I've been focusing on trying not to drink for you. I've been trying not to drink, and I realized when I was drunk, I was never a good guy for you. I enjoyed you better when I was sober. And I've been trying to exercise more and clear my mind, so hopefully I can be a better man to you when I get back to Georgia. And I'm like, really, really want to try this shit again? He's like, I think I do. And then he started to say that, his family knew we were talking again, and they seen my apology video, and they knew I was hurt, like it was all good again or something. And the reason why I'm kind of making a summary out of all this is because I really don't want to dig back into my old text messages about all that shit, because it was a whole bunch of clusterfuck of shit that he was texting me between August and September. Like, he had started to act like a boyfriend again after we had broken up. Like, it was super weird. Like, he was the master of gaslighting. Gaslighting is when a man is manipulative and he's abusing you, like mentally abusing you. 1 minute you're the love of his life, the next minute you're a fucking enemy. He hates you. He doesn't want to sleep with you. He thinks you're ugly. And then the next minute, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Like, it's crazy. And that's what he was doing to me. And I didn't realize it. All I was a sad, hopeless romantic bitch thinking I was going to get my man back again. But really, I was just getting deeper and deeper into abuse. So in between, like I said, in between August and September, like, we started to FaceTime again. He had started to compliment me again. Like nothing, like all those words he said about my wigs and my armpits and my nail polish and my chapped lips were all null and void in those time frames. And looking back, I knew it was because he was horny. Like, half the time when he would talk to me, it'd be like in the evening time, late at night. And I knew it was because he was horny and he probably just missed having sex with me. I know that's what it was, okay? Now thinking back, I know that's what it was. And plus, I was a comfort person for him. I was like a comfort blanket for him in some way because he hadn't found nobody else. And I do remember on one of our FaceTime conversations, while we were broken up, while he was still talking to me every fucking day, I asked him, I'm like, so have you talked to other women? Have you been like on dating apps or anything since you've been there and blah, blah. Like, I don't, if you still out there trying to date, then I don't want to stop you. Like, we broken up any damn way. And he was all like, oh, I've tried to be on OkCupid again, but I'm not meeting women. like you, I really want to be, it made me being on OkCupid has made me miss you more versus what I thought. I was trying to find a woman, but I didn't want to, I couldn't find nobody that I liked as much as you. And that's what made me start to actually try to like him again. And realizing that he was on OkCupid right after we broke up on our anniversary lets me know deeper now that he really did not give a fuck about me, knowing now since he's got a new partner now so quickly. But we'll get to that later because that's a whole nother saga. Okay, let's stay at the topic at hand. So he had started to tell me, hey, I've tried to go on OkCupid again, but it's not the same. It made me realize how much I like you. All the girls on OkCupid had like 5 kids or they're liars. I just want you. Like, I realized I just want you. I said, well, just make it happen again then. Make it up to me when you get back to Georgia. So once he gets back to Georgia, you guys, right? It's like everything changed. Girl, it's like everything fucking changed. So, okay, when he gets back, it's like right before his birthday. His birthday's in September, right? So, mind y'all, the whole time he was in Texas and Florida, he was talking to me like we back together. He was telling me that he's thankful to be alive and talking to me still, and it's made him realize, being away from Georgia has made him realize how much he missed me and how much he values his life because, he claimed that he was in such dangerous conditions in that hurricane, right? But once he came out to Georgia, he started to ignore me again, honey. And I became a pick-me chick. I became the emotionally unstable, mostly damaged girl that I was before. Instead of being strong and sticking up for myself and letting him be, I didn't. I kind of chased after him in that way. And if you guys remember, me and him had broken up. And then I started making videos again. And I was like, I wasn't making as many videos. And the reason why was because I was too busy chasing after his ass. So once he got back to Georgia, he ignored me. Like, he literally ignored me. And then the only time he hit me up was like after his birthday. I remember on his birthday, this past birthday, he didn't invite me over. His whole family was over there, right? And mind y'all, I told you guys, he told me his family was okay with me again. He told me his family was okay with me again. They realized I made videos because I was hurt, not because I was trying to be mean towards him or whatever. When his family came into town to celebrate his birthday with him, he didn't invite me over at all. He was treating me like a straight up side chick ass hoe. He didn't want me over there with his family. And he was the same guy telling me how much he missed me on while he was on his business trip, telling me how much he'll make it up to me when he gets back to Georgia, and how he actually realized how much he fucked up. And then as soon as you get back to Georgia, you act like I'm just some stranger ass hoe. And I remember on his birthday, like, I didn't see him. It was totally different from the year before last, because I actually made him a cake, and I spent his birthday with him like the year before last, and I actually made him a cake, and I even vlogged about it, you guys. If y'all remember that vlog, I made him a cheesecake, and I wrote, happy birthday, blah blah blah. And we actually went out, and I took him out, and then this birthday he just completely ignored me and was with his family and didn't want me around his family. So then he started to be like, oh, well, it'll just be awkward. I want to see you, but in private, because I don't want them to judge you. So I played into that bullshit like, like a fucking fool. Okay. So it was a few days after his birthday, I come over there, right? And it was late at night, you guys. It was prime booty call times. But my dumb ass was playing right into it because I was so desperate to keep my man. The man who fucking verbally abused me, the man who made me feel like shit the whole year that I was with him, I was still trying to keep that because I was so fucking damaged. I was so beat down. I felt so defective. I remember during the time when me and him broke up, I was trying to talk to guys and it wouldn't work out. So I would be frustrated. I'd be like, well, at least my ex is still talking to me and I at least have him as a backup. So I go over there. The few days after his birthday, right after he ignored me, right after he told me I can't be around his family, right after that, and I go over there. Of course, we talk it out, and all he's basically saying is, oh, my family now thinks you're crazy. We can date again, Olivia. If we take things slow again and we don't put my family into it because they're not really feeling you. And I'm like, okay, fine enough. So we started dating again. So I don't even know what, I think I was just so broken. Now this is why I don't judge women who go back to guys like this, because Men like this will break you down to the point that you don't feel hot for anybody else. I felt like I wasn't sexy for anybody else. He complained about my hair. He complained about my body. He complained about my, hygiene, to the point that I didn't feel attractive enough for any other man. I didn't think any other man would basically take me. That's how bad I felt about myself. That's why I put up with that shit. But yeah, we started dating after that. I mean, of course we had sex. Like I told you guys earlier. Every time we would get back together, it was always because we'd end up having sex. And of course, we end up having sex that night, and we end up making up. And he just said, "Well, you just can't be around my family anymore like it was before. It's not the same. Like it's just everything's completely changed." Oh, I also forgot to mention during the time we were broken up, and when he was confessing his feelings again, he even told me that he saw me as the right hand woman in his empire, right? And he could see himself having kids with me, and he has baby fever. So he went from saying I was gross almost and not wanting to have sex with me and telling me, "Oh, this is why I'm not wanting to have sex with you," to, "Oh, let's try to have a child. I have baby fever. Let's try this again. I've realized how much I miss you. And maybe I misjudged you. I just wish you were more driven." That was really main issue in our relationship, that you weren't driven. And ladies, don't ever give a man this many chances to realize your greatness. Like, don't ever. It's crazy because I remember this past Halloween. So like I told you guys, the closer the holidays came, the more weird and distant he acted. Especially towards his family. And if you guys remember, when we first started dating, he loved to have me around his family. I was like, he loved to bring me around his family and show me off, right? So I remember on Halloween, this was like the last holiday we spent together. I went over there to give out candy for the trick-or-treaters or whatever, and it was fine. That evening was fine. And I remember his mom called. And his mom was asking what he was doing. And he didn't even mention me at all. He just said, "Oh, I'm giving out candy." And never mind that I fucking bought the candy to bring to his house to give out. He wasn't about to bring out, he didn't buy no fucking candy to give out. I did. But he didn't tell his mom at all that I was there. And that's probably when I fucking should have left. But I didn't. Again, I fucking didn't. We went along with Halloween. We went out to eat, I remember, after that, and we talked about Thanksgiving. And he said, "Well, you're invited to my Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure if anybody's going to come. I might just go visit folks' houses, but you're welcome to, eat turkey with me or something." Okay, it's fine. Like, I mean, I don't think my parents are going to care. Like, I don't think my family's going to care, anymore. It's YouTube drama. They don't care. So he was, and we ended up breaking up on November 11th, Veterans Day anyway. But in between that time, he was still trying to convince me that his family would be okay with me. I just need to hold on, and maybe I'll get a chance to apologize to them, on Thanksgiving, right? So Veterans Day comes, and those past 2 weeks before we broke up, you guys gotta watch the signs. If a man is acting like he doesn't want to hang out with you, which is what he started to do, he didn't act like he started not want to hang out with me anymore. He started to act like he was too sick to hang out, or he'd make excuses not to have me over his house. We even got in an argument. I'm trying to piece all this shit together. This shit just brings me so much pain. We even got in an argument. This was right after Halloween. This is probably like the first week of November. I went over his house, and he was like dead tired, right? And I was dead tired too, but I still came over his house after work. We were supposed to go have a date night or whatever, but instead of having a date night, he was like asleep the whole time. Like, he literally was asleep the whole time. Like, he's fallen asleep on me before. That wasn't nothing out of the ordinary, right? But the thing about it was, I came over there. He said one word to me, then he went to the couch and passed out. Like, he just was asleep the whole evening. And we were supposed to have like an actual real ass date night, right? And I remember he had no food in his house at all. He had no food in his house whatsoever. All he had was liquor, and all I did was drink. And it was so frustrating because I had sacrificed some plans my family wanted me to go to hang out with him. And I was over his house, and he didn't wake up, so it kind of pissed me off that I turned the TV up loud. I turned the TV up loud seeing if he'd wake up. He didn't wake up. So instead of that, I tried to like tickle him. He didn't wake up. And of course, he eventually woke up because I was leaving, and I kind of like nagged him like, "Oh, how dare you like miss out on our like date night? You were asleep the whole time. I could have stayed home." Basically, like I was pretty pissed off, right? And he's all like, "Oh, we can hang out tomorrow." So tomorrow, that next day came, and this was before we broke up. This was like probably a week or two before we broke up. He was all like, "Oh, you know, you are not going to make me feel bad for sleeping. You're not about to turn up my TV hella loud. You're not about to be a fucking psycho. You're a fucking psycho. How dare you to think that your attention is more important than my sleep? I don't know what you were doing in my house. Like, you could have been probably trying to put my dogs up to do weird shit. My dogs never bother me while I was asleep. Why would they bother me while I was asleep? Like, you made my dogs bother me while I was asleep. All you care about is yourself. We need to break up, blah, blah, blah. Come get your shit type thing." And when I came over there that day, I was crying my eyes out and I was pleading him to stay with me. And he still stayed with me until the next week. And this is where we actually break up. So mind you guys, November 11th, Veterans Day, is when we finally broke up, and I was on an emotional roller coaster in between then and October, September-ish. In September, he kind of acted like his old self for like maybe 2 weeks, and then he started acting like a dick. And October is y'all saw Halloween, and then him accusing me of doing weird shit in his house. Anywho, he started getting more distant. So on Veterans Day, he finally hits me up. It's actually weird because before he did this shit, we did re-reconcile after he told me I was a psycho and waking him up, and he was so offended. We did actually re-reconcile and go out on a nice date, like probably like 3 days before he sent me this message. So it was pretty fucking weird. So he sends me this message the Saturday of Veterans Day, and I was actually gonna go over his house that day. And actually, it's pretty weird because the night before he dumped me, this is how I pretty much think, I'm pretty fucking sure that he cheated on me, because the night before we broke up, mind y'all, we went on a date 3 nights before we broke up. But the night before we broke up, he was not talking to me really, and it was a Friday night. But I saw on Facebook, like, his cousins were posting pictures of them drunk. Like, usually when his cousins were over and they were drinking, they would invite me. But he didn't invite me, and he barely even talked to me. He may have asked me how was my day, but that was that. Like, he didn't tell me what he was doing that night. He didn't invite me over for a drink like he usually used to do. And I saw pictures on Facebook of him and his cousins drunk at his house. Like, they were having a fucking party, and he didn't invite me. And, like, I told him about it, and he was like, "Yo, chill. Stop stressing me out." I think that's what he said the night that shit happened, and I didn't even respond back after that. I was so mad. I literally told him, like, "How would you party without me there and your cousins are drunk? I'm available," type shit. So the next morning, he texts me this shit. "Good morning, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I think our relationship has ran its course. Just incompatible with relationships currently. I'm gonna spend this day with my family to recharge and find myself again. We can talk about it later. It's not you or attractiveness, just something that's better for me and probably you too." And that's how we broke up finally. And that's when I finally stopped fighting. And I think I even responded saying, "I'm going to finally stop fighting this shit. You live your fucking life. Good riddance," type shit, right? And that was November 11th, 2017. In between that time, I was fucking depressed. I felt like I never really got closure from him. I felt like I went through so much abuse that I got nothing out of it. Like, I got zero out of the shit. Like, I got just humped and dumped basically multiple times. Because like I told you guys, the redeeming factor of our relationship was the sex life, to be honest. And I felt like he felt the same way about me too. And I just felt like I just kept getting repeatedly humped and dumped and felt like shit. So that was very abrupt, and he was just a piece of shit about it. So Christmas time comes and goes. I'm depressed. As y'all see, my YouTube channel got deleted in October. So since then, I've kind of only made videos about my ex, and I was just all depressed and everything. And then he comes back around in February just to say crazy ass shit that doesn't even sound like him. So let me go to the message he sent me in February. So, okay, he sends me, like, mind you guys, I hadn't heard from him since November 11th, since he just abruptly dumped me out of nowhere. And yeah, so he says this shit. Be true and real with yourself. We're all gods and goddesses, whether you believe it or not. Be a queen and not in the material sense. If you want a king, they have to come to you. We need inspiration in that knowingness that not everyone can have her. Okay, so the breakup was hard. It's not always about the better person. It's who makes you better. Assign value to yourself. And don't let someone do it for you or else they will. Even good people. Don't just say it. Manifest that shit and be that shit. Tell yourself you're divine and mean it. When someone asks, what do you bring to the table, be ready to answer. It doesn't matter what I bring to the table because I'm ready to eat alone and be ready to eat alone. What else did this motherfucker say? And stop lying. Be ready to be alone and stop lying. My ancestors are working overtime deflecting the untruths that hundreds of people believe. I'm operating on a higher, more positive frequency. I'm not your enemy nor your friend. But good things don't come to those who shed good people in bad light. And no, I'm not all up in your videos. It's just your thing. It's your thing, and I'm no one to take that from you. I'm just very spiritual grounded these days. Dust off, command, respect, never chase, always lead. I give you the most positive vibes on your journey. And mind you guys, from what I just said, the whole damn video, does it sound like him? No. Okay? So I read it as bullshit. I read it as somebody I don't fucking know. Okay? I totally did not take it as he meant it. I totally did not want to believe this shit, because who would after all the bullshit I went through? So, I mean, we were texting back and forth that evening. Then, obviously we stopped responding. It was just a lot. It was just a whole bunch of shit. And I think I even made a video about it. Actually, shortly after that, made a video about it. And Mr. I'm not all up in your videos responded. And he got so offended that I mentioned him in my video about how he reached out to me. And guess what he says, y'all? And since I've deleted that video, so I'm sorry, y'all can't go find the video I made about him shortly after he made that crazy ass message. But he says this shit. And it's crazy. And it's gonna make me mad as fuck. And brace yourself on this bullshit. I said in my Kiss My Roach Ass video I wasn't gonna even read the message, but I am now. And here we go. This is the end of this shit because I'm just fucking tired. I'm finally getting over this emotional abuse. And here's what he said. This is what lets me know that he probably cheated on me to get with this girl. So let me go tell y'all what the fuck he said, okay? All right. Well, you need help. I can't be any clearer. There's nothing ever I want from you. Trust me. And he says this bitch's name, his girlfriend's name. I can't pronounce her name. It sounds like some mythical fucking creature. I don't even think you fucking exist. But if you do, whatever, bitch. You ain't got no damn prize. Okay. Is in my life to stay. She is one who suggested me writing you to clear my aura. She is the one who showed me to respect my ancestors, my deceased father, including you, asshole. She's the one who put me onto astrology and so much more. And the energy thing is real. We burned money on New Year's Eve and wrote down things we wanted to leave behind. I totally forgot to put you on that list, which is probably why I'm writing you as my personal final closure. Which actually now feels complete. And oh, the future growth-wise is looking like an empire, which is why we burn money. You had a king, you lost him, which I fucking didn't. Own it, make your videos, but best believe, bad energy gets bad results. You look pathetic. And no, I'm not about to be in your videos. I'm 2 on 2 and knowing now. Show me them receipts and stop being fraudulent, you pure roach bitch. Compliments to you where out positivity is key. Like, how fucking dare you? Okay, let's go back on the timeline again, bitch. Okay. So he went from dumping me in November, claiming that he's incompatible in relationships, and then now he claimed on New Year's Eve he spent it with his new mythical girlfriend. I mean, I'm pretty sure she is real. It's just a really weird name, and I really don't want to put her name out there because I'm not that messy of a bitch. And I haven't even looked her up on Facebook, so I don't know what the fuck she looks like, but from the name, she sounds hairy. And he's basically bragging about his new partner to me to hurt me, and he knows it would hurt me because he knows how bad I wanted that relationship. And he claimed he wasn't a relationship compatible, and then voila, he's with somebody the month after. So ladies, let this be a lesson to everybody to never Stay with someone who put you through that much bullshit. Never stay with someone who's unsure of you. Okay, or shit like this will happen to you. So this was all happened in February. Haven't heard from him since, except for on that video, Kiss My Roach Ass. But since then, I've been very down on myself. Every fucking guy I've came across has reminded me of him in some way. Every time a guy is, criticizing me, or a guy's judging me, or a guy's, saying something out of line, I totally think about my ex. Completely. And that's the effect of emotional abuse that you should just totally watch out. Never let someone steal your mind. Never let someone make you feel insane. He made me feel fucking crazy throughout the whole fucking relationship, and I still feel crazy to this fucking day. I still don't trust men. I still don't know how to totally open up. I'm not the same person as I was 2 years ago dating. I can't trust men. I can't trust if anybody will ever love me. I don't know when anybody will ever love me anymore. Like, that's how deep my shit is. Okay? Never let someone talk to you like this. Never let someone treat you like this shit. And literally makes me fucking angry to even read stuff like that about, our relationship. Since then, of course I've been dating, but it's been very fucking hard when you have that fucking, just that dark cloud sitting over you. I feel like he's always watching me, laughing at me. But fuck him. Fuck her. I am finally walking in my emotional abuse truth. I'm still in therapy. I'm trying to get over it, and it's very hard. So never let someone belittle you over and over again. It will tear you down. It's been tearing me down for the past fucking months. Past few months. I haven't felt like myself in forever. I've not felt like a bad bitch. I may have said it in a couple of videos, but I really didn't feel it. I'm finally starting to feel it, and it's a journey. And he said it right. Positive vibes when your journey, even though he didn't fucking mean it. He knows it's a fucking journey to get over emotional abuse. I'm pretty sure my ex totally realizes that he totally abused me. And maybe his bitch does too. But, honey, like, I just let this be a lesson to all my subscribers. Never let someone do this to you. Never. Like, I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish none of the shit I've been through in the past year and a half on you. Naturally Ugo. That's how bad it's been. Like, I'm depressed day in and day out because of it. I think about him all the time. Not in the endearing way anymore. I'm so glad I'm over being in love with him. I'm so not in love with him anymore. It's just more of the damn, he really damaged me. Like, I don't even know if I'm able to love a man anymore. Like, I loved him, and he was a complete wrong person for me, and I loved him so much. I don't even know if that's even in me anymore. Like, I'm scared to death to get heartbroken again. Like, I don't even know how I'd handle it now. This is my story. This is my truth. This is what I've always wanted to post since we broke up. Never had a chance, never had the courage, but I do now. And I hope you guys see this as what it is. Not to get back at him, but to show you guys that it's damaging as fuck.